Hey, this is Stephen Galindo, and I want to share a little bit of sacred wisdom for you. Got some really, really good news. Um, and so it goes like this. First of all, let me lead up to it with a great story. Back in Genesis, there's a guy named Joseph, and his father's crazy about him. But his brothers are jealous of the father's love and affection for Joseph. And so they think about killing him, and then they think about throwing him in a well and letting him die, and eventually they sell him as a slave. He gets taken way off to Egypt. 20, 30 years goes by, and a famine hits the land. Joseph has managed to work his way up into becoming governor of all of Egypt. He's second in command right under the Pharaoh. So his brothers come to Egypt to buy some food that they can take back to the rest of their family in Israel, and called Canaan at the time. And Joseph recognizes them, and he unveils himself to them to let them know that, hey, I'm Joseph. I'm the brother you sold into slavery so many years ago. And his brothers are afraid because they think he's going to have them killed for what they did. But in Genesis chapter 50 and verse 20, he says to them, the thing that you meant for evil, God meant for good, to the saving of many souls. I believe that with all my heart, that when evil comes your way, if you handle it the correct way, God will turn it around and cause it to be a blessing later on in your life. Um, and so if you are dealing with being outcast, being isolated, being passed over, being rejected, maybe abandoned or abused, and you're struggling with depression in those areas, I want to encourage you to remember Genesis 50, verse 20. The thing you meant for evil, God meant for good. And God has the ability to take a horrible situation and turn it around so that his children get blessed, and the enemies of his kids suffer the consequences of their actions. From the time that I was about 15 or 16 years of age, I had trouble seeing. I finally got in front of an optometrist, and they said, yeah, you need either glasses or contact lenses. And so I've been wearing them ever since I was a teenager. When I became a Christian at 25, I heard a guy say that God could do things the things that are impossible to men are possible with God. And so I asked God to heal my eyes. And I prayed that way 4 or 5 times, and my eyes never got any better. I still had to wear contact lenses and glasses. Um, Most of you know that over the New Year's, this Wuhan virus got a hold of me, and I had to go into the hospital 2 weeks at Mercy Hospital here in Joplin, and then 2 more weeks at Landmark Hospital here in town. And they let me go February 5th, and then I recovered at home all through March and all through April. Well, all through March, and then by April I could work part-time hours, and now I'm back to working full-time hours. Thank God I can breathe and I can work. But here's what happened. While I was in the hospital, I noticed that my eyes wouldn't focus on things, and my glasses didn't help. They made things worse. So I knew my prescription had changed. I went to an optometrist 2 weeks ago. She took one look at me through a machine and said, what has happened to you? Your eyes are radically different from what they were a year ago. And I said, well, I got the Wuhan virus and I was hospitalized, and that's the biggest thing that's happened. And that's when I noticed, and while I was in the hospital, I couldn't see very clearly. And she said, Stephen, this eye, your right eye that you use for distance, has returned to normal. It's now 2020. You no longer need glasses or contact lenses. This eye, which is what I use for close-up reading and stuff, is so close to being normal that I can actually get reading glasses from Walgreens, and I can see everything perfectly. I can also see without it. She gave me a very low-level, low-magnification contact lens to put in if I wanted to go with a contact lens. And there have been several days when I've not worn the glasses or the lenses, and I saw everything perfectly. In the midst of all of the Wuhan virus in January and February, God healed my eyes. And now they're back to normal. This one perfectly normal, this one almost normal. A lot of people that know me aren't sure that I'm normal. But anyway, I share that with you to tell you this. What Satan meant for evil and me getting sick, God meant for good in bringing a healing into my life. And so I'm very, very grateful, very thankful and grateful. And I want to bless you and encourage you with this. I don't know what you're going through in your world, what you may be struggling with, but remember Genesis 50, verse 20. The thing that you meant for evil, Joseph said to his brothers, God meant for good. And so if someone has wronged you, taken advantage of you, hurt you in some way, don't respond with bitterness and don't give in to sorrow. Don't give in to despair. Just trust the Lord. Lord, you saw what happened. You know how it made me feel. And I'm going to give you my feelings and let you heal my heart. I pray that you would love those people and bless those people that worked against me. God, use them in some kind of way for your glory. And if you'll respond that way, God will do amazing and marvelous things for you. Even while I was in the hospital, I thank God that at least I'm in a hospital. I could be in a graveyard. So hospital isn't such a bad place when you consider the alternative. Genesis 50, verse 20, what you meant for evil, God meant for good. I told the devil, devil, what you meant for evil, God meant for good. And now look what's happened to me. He'll do the same for you. A little bit of sacred wisdom. Stephen Galindo. Thank you for watching. God bless you.